So recording is enabled now. You can see here. Now I'm going to my Eclipse part. You can see here, this is the your batch classes, like all the project things are there in this repository, and I have updated this repository, and maybe I will rename something later, but couple of additional things I have added here. So you can see here lot of things I have added, and these things
I'm only seeing your teams, not now. I'm seeing it may be delayed. That's fine.
So you can see here couple of things I have added here in this repository, which I will take care of each and everything. It's for you only. So many things are there. That's Java is there, Selenium is there, TestNG is there, Cucumber is there, Maven is there. So a lot of things will be there. So what we are going to do, first we will complete the Java things up to one level, because that is very mandatory thing for cracking the interview and other things, to understand the automation perspective as well. So you see here, this is the PDF file, and last day things I'm going first, that what are the things we have already covered. I think we were discussing about methods, right? If I remember. Vipra, last class what we discussed, it was about
In last meeting, I was not there, and I was not able to, I mean, I was there, but was kind of absent, and I did not check the recording as well.
Yes, okay. I will check what we have gone through, and in the repository also I have pushed the code, so I have the informations what I have pushed the changes over there. So let's first check that what are the things we have covered. You see here, it's about, it was all about methods only, so I remember things. It's okay. And I'm coming here to that. So methods part we have completed, like writing our methods using getters and setters. So three things we have already seen: how to give the naming conventions, what is the return type of the method, what is the return statement of the method. So all such things, concepts we have already seen. Okay. So now next thing is we are going to the constructors. So what is a constructors and what is the purpose of constructors? So basically, if we have a class, someone is saying something?
Sorry, no.
So what I am trying to do, the purpose of constructor is, just imagine that you have a class and you have couple of data members, means variables you can say in the class, and the constructor is basically designed to, when you are creating some object of that class, before that you don't need to worry what is the value and other things. Maybe take the default value, that is also okay, but you are creating the instance of that class. So you want that for particular instance, means you can imagine that a class can have n number of instances, 1 2 3 4 whatever. So what you are trying to do, you are creating instance 1, instance 2. For a particular instance, what are the variable values you want to keep? So that is the purpose of constructor. So I will show you in that way only, like how to make the use of constructor, and like basically why we are having constructor. If we will not have constructor, then what will happen, and if we will have constructor, then what is the benefit we are going to get. So let me find the constructor demo, because it will be there only, com.constructor, day1 file, Selenium browser, this. overloading instance demo should be Shambhya, right? Now problem is that the list is growing, so challenge is that to search the things, right? Search. In this project only I am going to search. And what are the things I want to search? Constructor. So basically I am searching a constructor. So it will search for this keyword everywhere. So still searching, you can see here. So it didn't find. Yeah, I found here. See here, constructor demo. So what you have to do here? First you design, then you have to implement. So normally my habit is I keep the design part in a separate file and implementation part in a separate file. Normally you will see everyone is done in the same class, but my habit is the implementation part I always want to keep separate to make you understand much better. So this is something implementation part that I will show you later. That's why I have written like this. One is like constructor demo. This is constructor demo. Yeah, this is useful for you. So I told you that the purpose of constructor is whatever the variable you have in a class, you want to initialize with some of the particular default value for a particular instance. I repeat, for a particular instance, what would be the default value of x and y you can decide in your constructor. So that is the purpose of constructor. Default value initialization. And some of the key things about constructor, like class name and the constructor name will be same. Always remember this. The constructor is not a method, so it will not have a return type. Here before constructor you cannot put a string or int or whatever it is. So this is the rule for constructor. Second is constructor cannot have the return type here, so it cannot have the last return with some value. But return keyword is allowed. That's the mandatory thing. Return keyword means suppose that after that you can write like this return and just put semicolon. So basically you will not get any compilation error. And this is one interview question. Can constructor have return statement? So you can say yes, but return with nothing. If you go to the methods example,
what is this return? What is the purpose of this return here?
your voice is not clear, Amit. What is saying?
I was asking what is the purpose of this return here?
Return is just a keyword in Java. So basically if you put return and based on some condition, like if condition you can put, so your flow of the program will not proceed further. It will return from there only, right? So return is something, after that don't do anything. It normally should be the last part, okay? But you can control it via if condition, that if this is the thing then return. So it means like you based on some condition you don't want to execute the further thing, so you can put the return. So in the continue what was happening, if you remember, I have not taught you continue, so should be okay. It's just a return statement. This is an interview question. Constructor can have return but blank without anything. But if you go to the method part, what I have given you last day, method demo.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I got the answer. Thank you.
If you go to any method one, where is that? So any method if you have written, you will see here, if the method has a return type, this is also constructor one. I am looking for method one. Where is that? Okay, anywhere you will find, then I'll show you. So even you design getters and setters, so return with something it will have. The getters will have return with something. But in the constructor, you see here, even I have the return statement, but it cannot have anything. Why? Because constructor, before constructor, nothing is a return. So it cannot have return. But by default, constructor returns the current class object. Just remember the thing. So how you will come to know, that part I will show you. You can see here, if you hold down the control button and just click on this, so you can see that it is pointing to the particular constructor. But if you comment out this one, just to demo, again I am coming here, because of that it is asking. It has a parameterized one, so let me comment this part. Again constructor need to be common. So you see here, if there is no constructor defined in your program, means you have not defined any constructor, so what it will do, Java compiler will automatically put a default constructor, and that constructor will return the current class object. If I click this, you see here where it is pointing. It is pointing to the line number 1, and which is saying the current class. Okay, so current class object it is returning. So this is the beauty of constructor. So let me uncomment this part, and I will show you more on the constructor. So design part says that first design a class with some of the data members. So consider that I design X and Y. Okay, forget about the comment part as of now. Just focus on the main things. This class has 2 data members, and I want to create the object of this class. Okay, so if I will not write any constructor, consider one scenario that I have not written any constructor. So what will be the default value? X equal to 0 and y equal to 0. So that will be the default value. So that you have already seen in the past. But my thing is that if I am trying to create any object of any class, so I have written constructor, and the purpose of constructor is that once the object is created, it has some value should be there. So those things, if you want to handle it, then you can define the constructor. So you see here, in this program, let me define one by one so that you will understand. So line number 12 to line number 17, just focus on that part. So what I have done, the class name, the constructor name will be same, and remaining things it will have as a method kind of thing. You see here, whatever you have seen in the method, so same thing it is showing here. So what I'm trying to do, I am reading some value from somewhere else, and I'm passing it to a constructor, and this constructor is having the same variable name like x and y. So now there will be some kind of confusion. Okay, so this is the local variable, means this is the what you call class member, class variable, and these are the local variables. So why local variables we call it? Because this scope of x and y will be only for this curly bracket, and this xy, this x and this y is available throughout the program. So what you have to do here, just you have to focus on this part. You see here, one x is here, one y is here, one x is here, one y is here. So how you will make some difference, right? Because the name of both of the variables are same. So in that case, to refer the global one, so this is the keyword coming, and this keyword says that current class. Always this refers to the current class. So it means compiler will understand, oh, current class x is assigned to the local x. Means whatever the value it will come, it will assign to the current class x. Then this local y will be assigned to the current class y. And after that, I'm just printing one message that inside parameterized constructor. So why it is parameterized? Because it has some what you call argument it is accepting, and then I'm doing some manipulation with those arguments, and this is optional part, means for your understanding, no need. This I just show the rule because this is interview question. They will ask sometime. Constructor will have return type, you will say no. Constructor can have return keyword, then you say can have but without any value. So that is allowed. And then what is the purpose of return keyword? So you can say that based on some if condition, you can control the flow of the program, whether next line should execute or not. So you put something like, so based on that, it will not execute the next line of code. So this is two argument constructor. We can call it two argument constructor or parameterized constructor. This is just one argument constructor. What I am trying to do, the default value in this case will be x equal to 0, but the value of y I am passing here. Okay, you see here, because this is already commented out. So what I am trying to do, the value which you will pass from the main method, it will just come and assign to this one. And I am saying inside single parameterized constructor. This was double parameter and this is single parameter. You see just one parameter is there. And third one is the main one. Means the rule says that if any you don't put any constructor. So Java compiler will always assign a default constructor, and if you have written it, so that is not inserted by Java compiler. In that case, it will follow your constructor. So now you see here what I am trying to do. Initial value of x I am setting. I am not taking it here, but just assigning here. Instead, earlier I was assigning everything here, but now I want to go with the what you call the guidelines. So guidelines says that always do variable initialization in the constructor part. So I have a constructor, I have x and y, and then I am assigning the value x equal to 100 and y equal to 5. So you see here, here also I have written this dot x and this dot y, but actually it is not mandatory. Why? Because there is no duplicate x, right? So even you write like this x, just x you will write. So what it will do, it will just refer to this one, you see here. But this just for understanding purpose, so that no confusion, means I am saying that the current class x. Okay, it just mean to say that it is current class x. Okay, so I am saying that inside the default constructor, and this is just a method. You can see here it is a method, this is a constructor, it is a method. So how you will come to know this is a method? First thing is the name. The class name is different and the method name is different. So this is a method, just you know. Second thing is it is saying that it has a return type. So void means nothing. So if there is any method having void, it means there should be no return with any value. Return statement will be missing for that method. And if you come to know about this thing, so it will be good, then good to go. Means now you understand this part. This is a method, this is a constructor, this is a one single parameter constructor, this is a double parameter constructor, and based on need I can invoke. Now see here, this is a static block. So static block I have just kept for demo because you need to understand what is the flow of program, and this is initializer block. It's non a static block, you can call it. So this is static keyword, this is not a static keyword. So you just remember this will execute before main method. If you have a main method, it will execute first. Second thing, it will look for object creation. If object creation will be there, so before executing constructor, it will be executed once automatic. So I am not calling it for this thing. Then your constructor will be invoked, and suppose that you creating 5 objects, so 5 times it will execute. But there is only one method, so this will run only one time. Now you see here in this program what I am trying to do. My design part and implementation part in the same class. So I have the main method, And here in the line number 49, I am just creating one object of the class which just now I have created. You can see constructor demo. Constructor demo I have created. And after that, I have a method called show. So that method I am going to call via this object. So you just copy this and you see here how I am getting access. So dot. So normally, if you remember the rule of like Java says that keep your data member as private and methods as a public. So data members means if I have something, I will try to hide, not to show outside world. And normally I will interact everything via methods. So methods are public method. You see here custom methods only coming from this class is show method. So show method I have already called here. This is the method calling. Now you see here, if I am going to run this program, everything is commented out. So what will happen? Now you have to be careful, just focus the attention that how the things are happening here. So I told you that program execution will always start from here, right? So it will come here and it will try to execute line by line. But once it came here, it will look for first of all a static block. It can be single, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be any. So no need where you have written, it doesn't care. Just before main method, it will execute the static block once. The first thing first it will do. So you see here, it is coming like that. But this is not automatically called. This is called when the object is created. So you see here line number 49, what I am writing here? Just object creation. So object creation, it will come to the constructor. Just I am holding the control button and showing you. This is the default constructor. It will go there. Okay. So it will initialize this one, then it will do. But before this, doing this, it will always check whether there is any initializer block. So before executing the constructor, it will execute this. Okay, just remember this. Before executing the constructor, it will always invoke this. So you see here the message which I have given, it is coming. And once this part is completed, the first one this one, then second one this one, then the third statement says that execute the constructor. So it will go to the constructor one, same matching constructor. So matching constructor is this one, you see here. It will initialize and it will just print this message. So it did that, right, inside default constructor. So you see here it did that. And after that, when I came here, I am calling the show method. So inside show method, what I have the code written, I have written the code like this dot 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 dot. The value of x is equal to x. I'm just typing here x. So it will take this one, this dot x. Okay. And then I'm calling the show method again. Sorry, one time calling. So x and y it will print and then dot 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 dot. So it did that. Actually it did that, and there was nothing other things in that. So you already saw that this concept. And then I'm talking about mainly constructors and the sequence of execution I'm talking basically. So you see here, if your one class is having like lot of things messed up, so how it is going to behave? So it is going to behave like this. So you have already seen this first one, default constructor example. So let me comment this part. Now I'm going with the different object creation, and this is already done, so this is not need. This I can show you that there is two objects, so that part you can understand. Consider that I created two objects, one is obj and obj1. So now I have two objects. So if both of the time default constructor will be called, so for both of the value, the default value will be set as 100 and 110. So if I execute, I won't feel any difference in both of the lines here. Just it for different objects. You can see here, again it did the same thing. But in static block is initialized only once before main method. So main method is started, then a static block will be called once. So that is the rule, and this will be called only when this constructor will be called. So once it will look for the constructor, and if constructor going to execute, so it will look for any static block, sorry, non-static blocks. So it will execute those things, then it will go for actual execution of the constructor. So it did that. Now third is parameterized things are there. So parameterization, how you call it? Okay, so go there first, the design part, how I have created here. You see here, I have created a constructor that I will take two values and then I will process it. So two values, x will be assigned to global x and y will be assigned to global y. So this is local x, this is global x, this is local y, global y here, and local y here. So you see here, that's why it is printing message something like that. If I execute this, then I will show you that how it is going to execute. So just I am calling the show method. Show method will always do the same thing. Let's do that. But here I am passing 200 and 300. So if I am holding the control button and show you, so 200 will be assigned to this x and 300 will be assigned to this y. So now this value will come here and it will assign to the global x. So you see here how the value is being passed, and then this value will be assigned to the this one. You can see here, and then it will print this message. So same exactly it is happening here. Assignment part, how it is happening, you won't able to see here without in the normal execution. So you have to go to the debugging mode. So that is a separate topic. I will show you later. So now it is printing the dot so one, and then printing the value of x and value of y. But here the things are changed. I am passing 200 and 300. So now that for this particular object obj2, it should show this value only, 200 and 300, not the 100 and 110. Because if this constructor will be called, the value will be like this. If this constructor will be called, it means I am designing something and then I am writing like that. So design part you have to see here how what logic I have written. So I am passing here two values and going there. So x will be taken and x will be assigned to the global x. Y I have taken and y will be assigned to the global y. Then message will be printed over here, and I will come back here. Now I have obj2.show. You can see here. So I'm calling for this particular object. This time show was called for this object. This time show was called for this different object. This object naming I have given obj only, this is obj1 only, and third object I have created as obj2 only. So once I execute, then I will show you the values of all. So you see a last one printing 200 and 300. So whatever the value I have passed, it is taking and it is initializing. So that's the very important thing. Now I have one more constructor. You see here, single parameterized constructor. If I want to invoke this one, so how I will invoke her? So very simple program, just similar like that, and just change the variable so that it match. Means I designed one constructor which was showing that I will only accept one value, and that value will be go to y, not x. I am coming here. So everything is here only. I am writing constructor demo obj3 1 2 3 like this, and then the constructor call, and which constructor you want to call, in parenthesis you can make a decision. So I am calling this one which is having single parameter. So it will take into y and it will assign to y, x will be remain 0 for that. So by default value of x will be 0. You already knew that, right? Because I have not assigned any value, so it will be 0. So if you want to execute this one, you can have a execution and you can check whether how the results are coming. can see here. But what is happening, a value of x equal to 1000 and value of y equal to 3000. So how
Rajiv,
this is?
the last part I did not get. Can you just explain once again the last obj.3 that you?
That part only I am executing here. You see here, I am trying to create one object here, but constructor, which one I want to invoke? This one, which I passed. You see here, this one. So what it is trying to do, it is taking this value y, and y is assigned to y only. So x, I am not expecting anything, right?
Yes.
So my expectation is that x is not having any value. If I am coming down, you see here, why it is printing 1000. Now I came to know. Someone joined.
I admitted that.
Okay. So you can see here, why it is taking 1000. That's what I was thinking. So in the initializer block, I am setting the value of x equal to 1000. And in the main program, I am calling one constructor. So constructor is taking and assigning the value to y. You can see here, this part is already commented out, so just ignore this part. This is not happening. It is taking a value y, and this is assigning into the global y. Global y means this one for particular obj2.
Okay, so I have a question, different question. So all these three constructors name are same, right?
Constructor name will be same only, but
yeah,
how you will differentiate based on the parameter. So
yeah.
in the
So
single
for
program,
yeah, for initial two you have given some parameters, but the last one you have given
correct.
different parameters. So my question is
See,
how it is determining that it should go to this y part, int y. So this is my confusion is.
I'm going here. Just focus on line number 64, right? What I'm passing here, 3000, correct?
3000, yeah. Yep.
So if I do a control click, and you see the how the flow will be go. So once the compiler will read and execute, so it will take the compiler to this part for execution. So it is coming here. Now whatever the value you have passed, 3000 will be taken here into the y part, right? And y part I am assigning to the y, global y. Understand? But what about x? So
yeah, x is commented here because of that.
So x is not here. So where it is? So what it will do? I told you that you check for the blocks. So in the block only I have initialized x as 1000. So what it is doing, before initializing the y, it will always execute this part. You just remember this. Before executing this part, it will always be called, implicitly call, we call it. It means I don't need to call it, it will be automatically called. So it is automatically called here, and then what it is trying to do, x equal to 1000. So 1000 means x value has been changed by the program execution. So x is 1000 and y is 3000. And then after execution of this, just I am printing the show method. So I'm not using getters and setters because like every time getters and setters not needed. That is like too lengthy program, I would say. So I'm avoiding that getters and setters. Instead of that, I have written my custom method, show method.
Oh,
So in the show method, I have already printed everything whatever needed. So what I am trying to do, I'm just printing it. So once I call the show method, so what will be the value of x and y for obj3, that will be printed, because I am calling it for obj3.show. So obj3.show means the third instance, go to the third instance, and then this is actually fourth instance, obj1, obj2 and obj3. So obj3.show, it means go to the fourth instance which name is obj3, and then you call the show method. So for that particular instance, this method will be called. and then the output is coming as 1000 and 3000. So now you understand how I'm getting this output, 1000 and 3000. So 1000
Yes,
was
yes.
1000 was done in initializer block, that's non-static block, and
Yeah.
3000 was done by this constructor call. So it's all about design and implementation. So design part I have, and implemented part I have written like this. So this is some basic about constructor. So I will take you to the next level, and if you are done with this, then I can go with the next level. If you want to discuss anything, again you can discuss. If no discussion, then I will close this file and I will come here in the project. So next level of constructor, this is copy constructor. So what does copy constructor says that you first design the normal constructors, means no parameter constructor, and then go to the copy constructor. So copy constructor says that I will take the parameter as an object of the same class, okay, and then I will copy one by one, like for this object x will be there, and for current class x will be there. So what I will do for current object, whatever the object I am trying to do create, so for that object the value of x will be assigned to global x, the value of y will be assigned to global y. I will show you that part, that how to create it, but just see that this is just a default constructor. So 100 and 200 I am initializing. This is copy constructor. So normally when you design constructor, it is always suggested that make this constructor as public. So paste. So you see here constructor name and then public will be there. So like this you can design here. And this is the third constructor. So this is the main thing for this file has been created. So what it is saying that just check the class name, okay. What I'm trying to do, I'm just creating the object of the same class, the left side part, not the right side part. You see here the left side part how I am used to write, so that part I'm doing here, but nothing equal to or new something like that you don't put here. Now it has local name obj, and this one is the existing class member. So obj.x is assigned to the this dot x, obj.y is assigned to the this dot y. So you see here copy constructor is invoked, this message also printed. So but invoking this constructor is a bit challenging. It says that first you create the object, then only you pass it to the copy constructor, otherwise it will not work, because it's a copy of object, right? So first object has to be created by any of the constructor, and then only you can use it, call it, okay. So I will show you the implementation part, how I have tried to implement. So line number 40, just a simple constructor I am calling here, simple normal constructor. One object is created, name I have given obj1. This is the second one, it's parameter one I want to call, where I am passing two values, and then both values are assigned to the class members. So I am passing here 20 and 30. So it will go to this constructor, 20 it will keep here and 30 it will keep here, okay. Then 20 will be assigned to global x and 30 will be assigned to the global y, and then this message will be printed, okay. So you check here in your program how many times you have created the constructor. 1 2 3 4 objects, so 4 constructor also you have called. So 4 times constructor will be executed, just remember this, because in this program nothing else is there. Second thing, it is saying that just call this method. No, just so I calling so calling, it means everything is working. And how you am passing the copy constructor, first I have one object and obj2 I have. So what I am trying to do, I am creating a obj3, but I'm passing it as a parameter here. So what it will do, it will invoke that constructor, and whatever the values it will have, it will copy this to this particular variable. So this is something important. In this case, a new object will be created, and that reference will be given as obj3. So this is very important understanding. Now fourth part is the same thing of repetition of the line number 42. So this is done. Then I'm just calling the show method. So show method already have written just to print the current value of x and y. So whenever I will call, this will just print the current values of x and y. Let me comment it part, and then I'll show you other things. So I'm running it. So it is saying that default constructor first called. So if you scan your program from top to bottom, so you see here what the part you have given in the given in the question, and then implementation, how you want to implement. So design default constructor, it is printing first, and then it is printing two parameter constructor. So you see here how I'm passing two parameter constructor, then copy constructor is invoked, copy constructor is invoked. So here you are just creating and passing the object as a reference here. So this is the thing you are done here. So though 2 times I have done, so 2 times it is printing here. And then you create any object, then just pass the object as a parameter here. So what it will do, it will go to this one. obj1 will be copied to obj, because this obj is local one. Okay, so for this it is saying that obj.x, obj.y. So this is the main thing passed by the user, and this is the class thing. So it's just assigning the things to this and this. So this means your object is being copied. The copy constructor is invoked. Now the fourth one, I'm just printing here. You see here obj1, obj2, obj3, obj4. So there I have passed obj1, and there I have passed obj2. So in obj2 I have the values 20, 30. So it is printing 20, 30 at last, you can see here. So this way you can understand that how the logic is written and how it has been implemented. So this is something about basics of constructor. Now if you are okay, then I can take you to the next level. So you see here I have called constructor demo. So basic part was done, and then I have added one more bit advanced level, that is copy constructor. So now if you are okay with this concept, should be okay, and if you have a doubt you can ask me. Anyone has any doubt? Okay, so no doubt means good, everyone is understanding. So now I'm coming to constructor chaining. So constructor chaining is done, but it has something like parent-child relationship. So if you are not aware about the parent-child relationship, so what I can do, I can show you some demo for constructor chaining. Chaining means one constructor is calling another constructor, something like that. So in Java we have a method also, like one method via you can call the different method. So same way for constructor, if you have multiple constructor and you are creating just one object, but you want a particular object constructor to be called, so you can add that statement in your any of the program. So that is okay. So there are this and super, two keywords given. So super is for parent thing. So as of now we are not going to discuss parent, but this we are used to discuss that what is this in Java. So this is something current class thing, but this with parenthesis is the current class constructor you are calling. You see somewhere we have written this dot, this dot, this dot, this. So that way we are calling it. But here what we are doing here, we are calling it as a parameterized constructor. So once you are calling the parameterized constructor, so rule says that if you have a constructor and if you have not written anything, so Java will like assume that it's a constructor, that is okay. The code it is internally written that what are the other manipulations it has to do on constructor. And second thing, it is saying that the first statement means if you are starting this constructor from here to here, so first statement means non-commented I am talking about. Either it can have a comment that is acceptable. If it is non-commented, so then it is not acceptable as a statement. Only this and super should be the first line of a statement, and if this you have used, then super cannot be used. So both are the things you cannot use in for this parenthesis this. So what you are trying to do, you are just invoking this constructor. You can see here there is a constructor, it is accepting the integer parameter, and this is the same constructor, it is accepting the string parameter. So when I will call this one, it will check where it is going here, control and click there. So it is coming here, parameterized constructor. Why? Because the value is matching 10 with this integer x. So it will come here, it will print message like this, and then it will terminate the program. So, and you can see here just one line of code I have written, object creation. So first it will go there, the self constructor part it will go first. It will come here, then it will ignore this line because this is not needed, and after that the first line should be this. So this we have already given this 10, so that is okay, and then the message I have printed, so that is also okay, working line. So after changing the value, if I want to check whether it is changed or not, okay, so those things also you can design. And in the line, in the main program, what I am trying to do, line number 26, just creating the object, CC object is there, and then new parenthesis I have given. So it will go first where, tell me. And if you see the closely, first it will go here, and then it will come here, then it will call this 10. So if I am control clicking, it will come here, and then it is not calling anything. So first it will complete the execution from here, then it will come back, it will complete the execution of here, and then at last the normal program execution will go on. So in this way it is executing, but let me show you some demo that how the constructor chaining is working. You can see here integer parameterized constructor is called 10, default constructor is called. So this message is coming, default constructor is called. So it is due to the object creation we have done. It is going there, and first it is saying that default constructor call, but before that it is coming here and it is saying that integer parameterized constructor call. So same message it is printing here, integer parameterized constructor call, and then it is saying that default constructor call. So that message is printed. So if you want to look which one is the default method, so I will show you that part as well. Default constructor. So this is the default constructor. Where it is? There, yeah. Line number 10. So you can see there are some of the examples which you will really use it. And the other topics are there, but I think it's very wide, so I will not touch that topic today. Tomorrow there will be classes, so must join and invite other friends as well. So let's discuss these things tomorrow, further things tomorrow. If you have any doubt, you can ask as of now. I'm still open for discussion. If you don't have any doubt, then we can wrap up the meeting for today.
Okay, Raju, thank you.
going to stop the recording, and then I can do other needs. Stop recording. More. Stop recording.